Chief, it's great to have a chance to meet with you. I was just looking at some data, and in 1988, the board feet sales from public lands were about 13 billion board feet. Today, I think as you testified, it's 3.2. What in the hell is happening?
Senator, we have taken an ecosystem approach to our lands. We've calculated the sustainable sale qualities, and we are not producing as much timber as we did in the 1980s, and we're not.
I'll say by a factor of about 5.
Yes, sir, and there is more growth in our forests than the timber we are offering.
And
so we do need to offer more
I just noticed
timber.
that coincidentally, from 91 to 2020, the number of acres burned has gone up by a factor of 5. Is there a connection?
Yes, sir, there is.
What are the bottlenecks? And by the way, I've been told that hundreds of sawmills have closed in the last 40 years in the West because of a lack of timber. Going from 13 billion board feet to 3.2 clearly has dried up the supply. And yet we're seeing record wood prices. What's causing this dramatic decline in harvest? Is there any allegation that we were over-harvesting in 1988, 40 years ago? Almost 35 years ago?
Senator, it's a little more complex than that. We've also been excluding fire. We've been suppressing fire for the last 110 years.
I'm not suggesting it's a one-to-one relationship.
Yes.
But you testified that there is a relationship. And my question is, why are we cutting so much less wood? This is a renewable resource. The trees grow back.
Because there's too much small wood that is not, it doesn't have a market. It doesn't have a market, and we need to create those markets.
But in my state, as you know, Maine is the most forested state in America. It's also almost virtually all private. The private landowners call those forests pre-commercial thinning, it's called.
Yes.
Which is both better for fire suppression and also ultimately better for commercial timber development. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
So
absolutely.
if there were more commercial, the market-based policies being applied in our forest, we'd have a healthier forest, would we not?
Well, yes. The pre-commercial thinning that you refer to on private lands in Maine are very important to create that bigger marketable forest product. And in the millions...
And to minimizing fire danger.
And to minimizing fire danger. But in the terrain and the slopes that we have in the 193 million acres of National Forest System lands, it's not a one-for-one where we can put contractors out and do pre-commercial thinning. We need to do prescribed fire. We need to do other hazardous fuels treatments to create the right kinds of forests that are merchantable and healthy and resilient.
Well, here's another figure that bothers me. 30% of the forest land in America is federal. 70% of the acreage burned last year was on federal land. There's something wrong here.
Yes, I absolutely agree. We need to do more work, Senator. That's the paradigm shift that I'm referring to. We need to treat 2 to 4 times more acres than we do now.
But when you say treat, I hear that word and I think, chemicals or something. Are you not talking about more harvesting?
I'm talking about more harvesting. I'm talking about more prescribed fire. I'm talking about more mechanical pre-commercial thinning or hazardous fuels reduction. I'm talking about targeted grazing. It's all of those tools or treatments.
You're the world's expert on this, and for the record, I would like if you could give us a page or two on why the dramatic decline of a couple of 100% since the late 80s.
Gotcha.
What are there statutory things, for example, that have contributed to that?
Sure.
Is it litigation? Is it regulatory? what are the barriers to getting to a place where we would have both more robust, stronger wood supply, stronger employment in the West, and also less fire? So could you?
We'd be
give that
happy to
us?
do that, Senator, yes.
Thank you very much.
You're
and
welcome.
I appreciate your extraordinary service and your straightforward testimony here today.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.